All right, local governments across the United States are finding ways to use money they're receiving from opioid settlements.
These settlements are multi-billion-dollar agreements that major companies in the pharmaceutical supply chain have agreed to pay to states and local governments for their role in the nationwide opioid crisis.
Marshawn Gunn is live in studio to tell us about how the funds are being spent in Scott County. Good evening, Marshawn.
Good evening, John. Scott County joined opioid class action lawsuits back in 2017. In 2022, payments started to come in. This money is from multiple defendants in the pharmaceutical scene, such as manufacturers like Purdue Pharma, all the way to pharmacies like Walgreens. One key designation is that at least 70% of the funds must be spent on opioid remediation. For Scott County, that means new positions, opioid care coordinators. Chantel Leachman understands the importance of her job.
To try to help people is sometimes challenging, but it's also rewarding when you see the progress that people make.
Leachman is one of 2 opioid care coordinators for Scott County.
My job is to help, eliminate those barriers to get them to the right help so they can obtain recovery, because recovery is possible.
Scott County has already received $5 million from opioid settlement funds. $7 million additional dollars are still pending. Scott County officials say one of the largest barriers for recovery for many is access to resources.
We know there's resources out there, but they don't necessarily know where they're at. They don't necessarily know how to get into them.
The role of opioid care coordinator was created in 2024.
If we can just help one individual and connect them to these resources, that's a win.
Leachman's job is to support those with opioid use disorders and connect them with other resources.
I actually take people to primary treatment if need be. I've taken people to like the shelter when they need housing. The jail is one of my biggest referral sources because a lot of people who have substance use disorder end up incarcerated.
She makes sure anyone she sees suffering from opioid abuse has a way to get help.
Need to be in the community because transportation obviously is a major issue for people in recovery, especially coming out of incarceration. They don't always have the resources or the ability to get to places.
It's not just about finding resources, it's also about education.
I said me and my partner have educated over 650 students.
Opioid abuse is an ongoing issue throughout the country. 80,000 people dying from overdoses in 2024.
That's about 219 deaths a day.
It's up to people like Leachman, along with settlement funds that are working to bring those numbers down. As part of these settlements, Scott County has partnered with the state on its strategies, including the Overdose Data to Action in States grant. It aims to expand surveillance to track fatal and non-fatal overdose data, close gaps in access to care, and improve collaboration between public safety, public health, and others. Back to you.